All right. Let's get this party started. All right, good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Give me a replay, gang, if you're watching a replay. Give me a replay, gang. Let me know you in the house. TGIM, like my dog ET say, thank God it's Monday. The grind includes Monday. You know what I'm saying? Represent yourself. Let them know where you checking in from. Make sure, even if you're watching the replay, that you subscribe to the channel, especially if you're rocking with us on YouTube. You know what I mean? Let them know where you're checking in from. Rep your city. Rep your city. Rep what kind of business you got. You know, around here we love the entrepreneurs. We feel like entrepreneurs is the best part of humanity. You know what I mean? We really feel like entrepreneurs are the ones that's solving all the problems. We feel like entrepreneurs is the ones that's making it happen out here. You know, who else they turn to? You know what I mean? The government moved too slow. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all heard, but the Supreme Court, they just did something wild. They just not told Indiana University that you can't even like duck the fact that basically the Judge Barrett, she was like, in a nutshell, she just made the first overt move I've ever seen where it's like the government is really about to go after controlling your body and controlling what you do. Now, whether you care about vaccine or you don't, man, that's a wild statement right there. That's a wild thing. And the reason I bring that up is because what it says is that one of the only freedoms you really have is your ability to create unlimited income with your ability to serve. That's one of the only freedoms you really got, man. And if you know, like I know, you better take advantage of it now. If you know, like I know, this is the time to take advantage of it. Because the rich are getting richer. The poor are getting way poorer. You know what I mean? The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting way more poor. And the middle class got to make a decision. The middle class going to have to make some decisions, y'all. This is the time for you to go as hard as you possibly can. You know what I mean? I'm about to call in on this live line, get this party started. How we feeling out there? Give it to me in one word. How was your weekend? How was your weekend in one word? Let me see it. Allie in the house.
You have something special. You have greatness in
Shamise,
you.
What's
Hello,
up?
This is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
There are. Please enter your...
That's right. Hold on. What's up, Dee Dee?
You have something special.
Kendra in the
you have
house.
greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time.
Please enter your...
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
Yeah, what's up, Jess? Yeah, I'm glad to hear Smitty doing better. My man Frank in the house. Okay, then. All right. Okay, Dee Dee. Let's get it. I like that. Okay. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So good morning, millionaires. I got 7:30 on the dot. That means it's time to get busy. I hope you had an incredible weekend. I know I did. It has been a fantastic couple of months, man. And you know, what it goes to show is that the time you plant a seed is not necessarily the time, not necessarily. The time you plant a seed is never the time you're going to harvest. And I just don't know if we're all aware of the opportunities that we have every single day to take complete control of our lives, to take complete ownership. and responsibility over our lives. Have you ever sat there and contemplated how much power you actually have? Have you ever really like gone through the process where you thought to yourself that like, man, there's not a single area of my life where I'm allowed to play victim. There's not a single area of my life where I have the luxury of it being up to somebody else. So when you talk about what makes you a leader, I want you to first think about the fact that you lead yourself. Can I get that in the comments? I'm a leader of one. Too many people think it's about a title. Too many people think it's about these fancy letters like CEO or CMO or CIO or COO or VP, manager, middle manager, regional manager, right? Everybody thinks that it's about the position when really it's about the disposition. Can I get some leaders out there? Millionaires, leadership has very little to do with a title. Appreciate that, Chris. My girl Crystal Clear sharing it. I appreciate that. Leadership has very little to do with a title, y'all, and everything to do with how you interact with people. It has everything to do with your attitude. I'm talking about how you're approaching today decides whether you're a leader or not, and whether you're going to make leader-sized money or whether you're going to make the kind of money that makes no one proud, including yourself, right? Leadership is all about how you interact with people. If you're looking to increase your income, if you're looking to increase your impact, if you're looking to make $1 and a difference at the same time, then what you're talking about is becoming a leader. Millionaires, what I'm here to tell you is whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're an administrative assistant. I don't care if you're the new person that just got the job or if you're a new person that just started a business. There are ways that you can be a leader right now. And so today I'm going to give you 7 of them. I want you to think about them. I want you to maybe give yourself a little bit of a grade on where you sit with them. You know, we're real big on self-assessment around here. As a Millionaire Minded, one of our big adages is that we're constantly improving. We're constantly looking for ways that we can spice our life up, right? Where we can live larger. And so I want to encourage you to give yourself a little bit of a ranking on these. If you're willing to play along, then let's have a ball. Here's the first one, y'all. The first way you can become more of a leader, no matter who you are or where you at, is number 1 is value every relationship. Value every relationship. I don't know how many of you have ever seen that thing where on Instagram, they tell you, they say people ask you what you do for a living because they're trying to figure out what kind of respect to give you, right? Think about that. People ask you what you do for a living because they're trying to consider how much respect to give you. Is that cold? Millionaires, that ain't a leader. That's not how a leader play it. Millionaires, let me tell you how a leader thinks about it. The way a leader thinks about it is whether you're talking to the janitor or you're talking to the junior partner, baby, you treat them with value. You realize there's a person behind that job. You realize that there's a person representing a family. Therefore, you have the ability to influence a whole family with the way you interact with this person. That's a leader right there. A leader realizes that you always have the power. You're constantly creating a ripple effect. And whether that ripple effect helps you to build your reputation or erode it, it has to do with you. It has to do with you and how you're interacting, how you're seeing opportunity everywhere you look. Are you looking at it like, you know, I mean, we always say you don't see with your eyes, you see with your what? You see with your mind, right? Where do you give yourself on valuing every relationship? Do you know some of the most powerful connections you make will be connections that come from connections that you made through someone else? What I'm trying to say is you're powerful. It's the connections that you make, right? But you're not really getting it. And we're going to talk about this week, right? But you're not really getting it cracking until it's your connections making connections for you. That doesn't happen unless you value every relationship. Somebody give me a share if you really understand that there's a lot of power in the relationships. Man, I'm trying to tell you, the person that rings up your groceries, that's a relationship that maybe you're not treasuring enough. I'm talking about the person that's standing beside you in line at the DMV. There's an opportunity right there. I'm talking about you have family members that you don't reach out to enough. There's opportunity there. You know what I mean? But are you valuing every relationship? What's happening, man, is as we get more connected socially with all these devices, we're starting to lose real bond. We're starting to lose real bond. You can be different, though. If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. On Free Coaching Friday, we kind of went through this system. I did not mean to leave that up. Yeah, shouts out to YouTube. How y'all gonna let me just leave that on the Summer Jam screen that long? No, we definitely on YouTube. Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay then. Okay then. Here's number 2. A way to be a leader in any situation. You can think about the team's needs before you think about your own needs. That makes you a leader in any situation. Thinking about the team's needs before you think about your own needs. That makes you a leadership. That creates leadership energy in any situation. Are you willing to finish that thing so the team member can go home early? Are you willing to handle that meeting because the team member had some kind of emergency pop up? When it's crunch time and everybody's working late, do you buy takeout for everybody just to make it easier, right? Thinking about other people's needs before you think about your own, it's a divine practice because your flesh, the first law of nature is self-preservation. Your flesh, right, just wants to take care of itself. But millionaires, it's not until you start thinking bigger. It's not until you start connecting with the bigger parts of yourself that you realize the most selfish thing that you can do is serve other people. What if you began to think about the team's needs before your own? What would the world look like if everybody thought that way? What if we decided to be the change we want to see? Think about it now. This is a really simple practice, but what if you were to write down today 5 ways you could think about the team's needs before your own? What if you were to write that out, right? What kind of ranking do you give yourself? Give me a number 3 and a share if you're ready for the next one. You know, here's number 3. Here's number 3. Help your team grow. So that's really where I was going with when I said the whole idea about writing it down on paper. What if you sat there and considered a few ways where you can help your team grow? What if you put some thought into that? What if that became a mantra for the entire team? What if everybody showed up a week from today with 5 ideas to help the team grow? What if you could get just 1 out of those lists? Would that be incredible? Millionaires, what if you provided training and opportunities to help everybody work toward their full potential, right? What if every day you were working on training your team in little small ways? You know, maybe you use a call like this. Maybe there's some kind of church meeting that you put together. Maybe your temple or your mosque has a kind of way where you can just begin to build community. But what if you stopped waiting on someone else to do it and you put together the team? Maybe you bring in the experts that are really good at where you see people are really bad. What are you doing to encourage and sponsor continuing education? What are you doing to give a team member increased responsibility, right? What are you doing to show that around here, we're not putting up with mediocrity? We got a mediocrity boycott going on. We're holding ourselves to a higher standard. How are you helping a team grow, right? How are you challenging everybody to up their game? Think about it if everybody thought about it, right? Somebody say, help your team grow and give me a share. Help your team grow and give me a share if you're ready for number 4. Help your team grow, right? These are ways that we can create leadership energy. And this is free, right? This is free. Here's another one you can do. Number 4 is share more credit. Share more credit. Millionaires, that creates leadership energy in any situation. sharing more credit. You accomplished that goal, but you didn't do it alone. Please believe me. If you did it by yourself, it probably wasn't much you did. Think about that. Matter of fact, anytime you can accomplish it by yourself, you're probably not accomplishing much. Your team was right alongside you, right? So shouldn't leadership be letting everybody know who helped out? And if you're the leader, I mean, you might not have the title, but let me tell you what makes you instantly look like a leader. Taking the responsibility. You hear me? One of my favorite comic book characters was this cat Spider-Man when I was growing up. I don't know how many of y'all used to read comic books, but my guy was Spider-Man, right? And there's this quote that his uncle gave him before his uncle died and created the circumstances for him to become this superhero, right? And his uncle would always say, with great power comes great responsibility. Can somebody give me that in the comments? With great power comes great responsibility, right? That's amazing. What I'm saying is also though, right? Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. Y'all ever heard that one before? With great power comes great responsibility, right? And this is why, you know, a leader should share the credit, because you've got this power and you have the responsibility for upping the self-image of the people around you, making sure they see themselves as kings and queens, making sure they see themselves as masters of their domain, making sure they see themselves as accomplished and capable, making sure that they realize that they've been winning this whole time, because you realize you can't build on nothing but a win, right? You can't build on a loss. It's impossible. You have to find little ways where they're winning. Your whole job as a leader is to create a high-performing team. So of course, right, with great power comes great responsibility. But check this out, though. Check this out. This is what's crazy, y'all. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. It's a fact, right? But here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy, y'all. Do you realize that with great responsibility comes great power? With great responsibility comes great power. You see what I did there? With great responsibility comes great power. Let's just say, God forbid, you're in a situation. Let's just take the same situation I just now gave you, right? Where the leader should be sharing the credit. Well, let's just say the leader forgets. Do you know how powerful you look when you don't? You see, you just created leadership energy because you step up and you give away. Right? You step up and you give away the credit. You get what I mean? What if you go to leadership and let them know who helped you when they're giving you all the credit? What if you go to leadership and you brag on everybody that helped you and you point out every little thing that everybody, do you understand what you just did? You became a leader, baby. You're making the team look good. You're giving them the spotlight. You're letting them shine. Isn't that something? With great responsibility comes great power. Any of y'all ever seen this old school movie called Shawshank Redemption? Anybody ever seen that joint? Y'all remember this scene where all the prisoners is on the roof and they're all like super hot and whatnot. And he stepped up to the guard and was like, yo, let us, you know, he got them all a beer and whatnot. Y'all remember this joint? With great response. And then all of a sudden, he was kind of like the leader. All of a sudden, all the little prisoners, right? It's like with great responsibility comes great power. With great responsibility comes great power. With power comes responsibility, but also responsibility comes power. Right? That's a classic, right, Coach? Yeah. Okay. We got some movie heads in this joint. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, here's number 5. Shoulder the blame. Shoulder the blame is number 5. Shoulder the blame. Shoulder the blame. This one gets a little trickier, right? This one ain't as fun. Nah, we never find this one to be as fun. Nice, Miss Embry. I love it. I love it. Here's number 5. Shoulder the blame. Shoulder the blame. Listen, man, the only healthy response to a crisis is to look in the mirror and say, it's my fault. Isn't that something? It's my fault. Because even when it ain't my fault, it's my responsibility. But what if you took the blame? And I don't mean just with the words, I mean with the actions. If you and your team fail to meet a goal or a project doesn't go as well as planned, what if you decided the blame stops with you? Man, one of the worst things you can do, one of the most, is to blame everybody around you. Now, when you have power, sometimes people cower, but they still lose respect for you. They still lose respect for you. I'm gonna tell you, we just now finished with a president who was an amazing example of a lot of rules about how you get power. And then he was an example of a lot of the rules about how you destroy yourself. This dude got this close. No, I ain't even gonna go there. But what I'm saying to you is that, right, one of the things that show you what somebody's real power is when they don't have the position anymore, how people treat them. And what I'm telling you is one of the ways to erode that true respect with people is to blame everybody. Millionaires, what if you decide to have your teams back? What if you decide to not throw them under the bus for the sake of your own ego? What if you, when you need to give feedback and you have to help somebody like get better, you do that part privately, right? And then even when you do it privately, what if you learn to point out what they do correctly first so they don't feel attacked? This is the art of leadership. This is the art of getting the best out of your people. This is the art of creating high performing teams. But millionaires, a lot of times, it's just making them feel safe, making them feel never wrong. And guess what? If you're the leader, it can't be their fault. People don't rise to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of their systems. And if you're the leader, it's your job to create better systems. So it probably is your fault, right? Where do you give yourself on that one? Where do you give yourself on that one? Right? On shouldering the blame. Give me a number. Give me a shoulder to blame and a share. That's right. This is how we create that leadership energy. I got another one for you. I got another one for you. I got another one for you. I got another one for you, y'all. Number 6 would be a leader, and we're talking about how to create leadership energy mostly, right? But I had to include this because this is how you destroy leadership energy, kind of going along with the vibe of always blaming. Number 6 is when you say, that's not my job. Number 6 is when you're like, that's not my job. Man, listen to me. Even when it's not your job, well, damn it, delegate, right? You delegate or stagnate, but you never express the idea that it's not your job. That's the ultimate opposite of leadership. That's the polar opposite. Now, you're making it clear that you're just out for yourself. Now, you're making it clear that it's all about you putting yourself above the needs of the team. It oozes arrogance and laziness. What your whole vibe should be is that first you serve, then you deserve. You do more than you're paid for, and then eventually you're paid for more than you do. And, it shows up in little ways, y'all. Excellence. It might not be your job, to clean out the coffee pot at the office, right? It might not be your job to get with somebody and help them on little things you love about their presentation and little things that you felt like they could improve on. That might not be your job. But what if you decided you were a leader, right? I got one more for you and then we out of here. Never say that's not my job and then give me a share. Never say that's not my job and then give me a share. What's up with the YouTube crew? That's what I'm talking about, Vita. I got a bonus one for you too. Yeah, never say that's not my job. That's right, Vita. I missed that. Yeah, Demeter. That's what I'm talking about. Never say that's not my job. That's what I'm talking about. Never say that's not my job. That's what I'm talking about. All right, here's the last one I got for you. Be a person of character. Be a person of character. Man, last night before I was doing the training call, I had something real wild happen, right? I had the garage door open and stuff, and I was out there just kind of chilling between the cars and whatnot. And I had both the garage doors open just so I could get fresh air and stuff. And I was just chilling. It's just whatever. So a lot of times people are walking and stuff, and this couple is walking up. And one of them is just like, classic, really huge dude and little tiny woman and stuff. And they're walking like this little dog about yay big. And, I hear him. The rest of what he said is a blur, but I hear him as he's walking by, and he's just like, because he's a white guy, white wife and all of that. And, I just hear him clear as a whistle. He says, yeah, and it's classic nigger move. He didn't believe him, and then he said, and then whatever he said, he just went, it blurred off. But he was like classic nigger move. And it's like, it felt like somebody, I never experienced something like that before, where, because you hear about it, you assume this is how they talk about, when they're around their dinner table and stuff like that. But it's like, it really shook me up inside. And, it was wild because, and I appreciate that, Ali, because I was shook up. I didn't even feel like myself on the call because I felt myself in this zone. Like, what should I have said? I had that George Costanza thing where I'm just like, I thought of a million different really cool things that I could have said. And man, part of me, even when I'm sitting there, it's like I want to kind of like come out of my garage and approach him, or like I want to be a classic nigger, you know what I mean? To kind of show him what a classic, you know what I mean? And the reason I'm saying this, right, is that I'm really, really, I never experienced that where the person is not angry at someone. It's not like they were trying to be offensive. He's just, what does leadership dictate that you do in that situation? Sometimes it's that you don't react. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm proud of myself that I didn't react, that I'm looking more to respond. This is someone who clearly lives in the neighborhood. He's going to be walking again with his wife at the same time. This is probably their routine. And there's got to be a way that I can respond and still show myself to be a person of good character. You know what I mean? Millionaires, leadership is less about skills and more about you living by your values. You don't want to be known as this person who is hot-headed or dishonest or can't be trusted to respond. Take responsibility, the ability to respond. Millionaires, your job might give you authority, but it's your actions that earn you respect. You get what I mean? It's your actions that give you respect, including self-respect. There are different things that I could have come up with, that my ego would have congratulated me for, and it would have given me dopamine and all of this. But I got to come up with a way to address it where it helps to solve the real problem. And I disconnect from the smallest part of myself and instead plug into the divine. You know what I mean? Leadership. Millionaires, it's affirmation time. Speaking of that, you know what I mean? Because what we're looking to do is make ourselves better. We're looking to make ourselves improve. We're looking to create a personality that attracts success, that attracts peace, that makes it so that, it's funny. I said on my Facebook yesterday, I was like, the ultimate sort of freedom is taking nothing personal. It's taking nothing personal. And then God sprinkled that little thing on there, like let's see if you practice what you preach. That's why every day, one of my favorite affirmations, right, is that I am now becoming the best example of all my best advice. You know what I mean? Yo, if your phone line tries to charge you to call in and you want to do your affirmations and visualization and breathing exercises with us, just text "call me" to the number, and it'll call you back. Just text "call me" to the number. All right, y'all, let's get it. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. You get to take your cool off for a minute. You get to be a leader of yourself. Because imagine if you could make yourself feel the way like, right? What if you could make yourself feel like doing all the stuff you're supposed to do? All right, let's get it. I am so happy.